Want to gift a Labubu doll to someone? What if you can create your own version of the Labubu? If you can add a personal touch, that's way more thoughtful than just buying another doll. Creating your own piece of art is a core memory in the making. Let's make some magic with this Labubu Flutter code so you can draw a one-of-a-kind digital Labubu that's just for that someone. First off, let's look at the main setup. You'll see we have a standard main function that runs our app. The My App widget is a simple stateless widget that sets up the Material app, which is pretty standard. The interesting part starts with Labubu doll. This is a stateful widget because we want our Labubu character to have a little life. Specifically, we're going to make it blink. To make the blinking happen, we're using an animation controller named Blink Controller. We initialize it in the initState method. The vsync. This part is crucial. It links the animation to our widget's lifecycle, so the animation pauses when the widget isn't on screen. We set the duration to 300 milliseconds and tell it to repeat, reverse, true, which means it'll run forward, then backward, and keep doing that forever, creating that nice blinking effect. Next, we have the blink animation. It's a tween, which stands for in between. A tween defines a range of values. Here, we're going from 1.0 fully open to 0.3 almost closed. We apply a curved animation with curves.ease in out to the blink controller to make the blinking feel natural. It starts and ends slowly, but speeds up in the middle. Let's create a main user interface for the Labubu drawing. The entire screen is contained within a container widget, which has a background with a linear gradient from a light orange at the top to a light yellow at the bottom. At the center of the screen, there's a smaller white container with rounded corners and a pink shadow, acting as the canvas for the drawing. Inside this central container, an animated builder listens to the blink animation and rebuilds its child, a custom paint widget, whenever the animation value changes. The custom paint widget then uses the Labubu Painter class, passing the current blink value to it, which allows the Labubu character's eyes to animate and blink on the screen. Now, let's get to the drawing itself. The Labubu Painter class. This is where all the artistic magic happens. The Labubu Painter takes a blink value as a parameter. This is the value from our animation, and we'll use it to control the height of Labubu's eyes. In the paint method of the custom painter, we get a canvas and size object. The canvas is our drawing board, and the size tells us how big that board is. We can use the size to make our drawing responsive and scale correctly within its container. We first define a bunch of paint objects with different colors for the body, skin, eyes, and so on. Then we start drawing the body. We use a path object and add our rect to create a rounded rectangle for the body. The rect from LTWH defines the position and size of the rectangle, and the radius.circular gives it its rounded corners. We then call canvas.drawPath to fill it with our body paint, which is a vibrant pink color. The head is a simple circle drawn with the skin tone color. We use canvas.drawCircle, providing a center point and a radius and filling it with our skin paint. The center point is calculated relative to the widget's size to keep it centered and positioned correctly. The bunny ears are a little more complex. We use path objects again, but this time we use quadratic Bezier to create smooth, curved shapes. Each ear is a path object that we build step by step. We start with path.move to set the starting point. Then, we use path.quadratic Bezier multiple times. This method takes 2 points, a control point and an end point. The control point pulls the curve in a certain direction, creating that lovely arc. By chaining these calls together, we can form the full shape of the ear. Finally, we call path.close to connect the last point to the first, completing the shape. We do this for both the outer ears, filled with body paint, and the inner ears, filled with inner ear paint. This is how we get those nice, soft ear outlines. We draw the outer ear with the body paint, and then a slightly smaller, lighter pink path for the inner ear. For the face, we draw the eyes. Here's where the blink value comes in, making Labubu come alive. Eyes. We draw the eyes as 2 oval shapes using canvas.drawOval. The key is that the height of these ovals is calculated as 45 into blink value. When blink value is 1.0, the height is 45. As it animates down to 0.3, the eye height shrinks, creating the blinking effect. Eye highlights. We only draw the small white highlights when the eyes are open enough. We do this with an if, blink value greater than 0.5 check. If the value is above 0.5, we draw a couple of small circles with eye highlight paint to give the eyes a sparkle. Mouth and teeth. The mouth is another path object. We use a series of line-to-calls to create that distinctive jagged, open-mouth shape. Then we draw 4 small white rectangles with teeth paint to represent the teeth. Cheeks. The cheeks are just 2 ovals drawn with our semi-transparent cheek paint, giving a soft blush effect. Finally, we have the arms, legs, and feet. The arms and legs are rounded rectangles, similar to the body, and drawn with the body paint. We use a path and add our rect to create rounded rectangles for both the left and right arms and legs. We carefully calculate their positions and sizes to make them proportional to the main body. Finally, the feet are 2 simple ovals drawn with skin paint, giving the impression that they are peeking out from the bottom of the legs. The last part of the custom painter is the should repaint method. This is an optimization. We only want to redraw our painter when something has changed, and in this case, the only thing that changes is the blink value. So, we check if the new blink value is different from the old one. If it is, we return true to trigger a repaint. If not, we return false, which saves us from doing unnecessary work. And that's a comprehensive breakdown of the Labubu Painter class. We've covered everything from defining colors and drawing basic shapes to creating complex curves and optimizing performance with should repaint. I hope this gives you a much clearer understanding of how to bring your own creative ideas to life with Flutter's custom painting. And there you have it. That's how this Flutter code brings the Labubu character to life, with a custom painter handling the drawing and an animation controller giving it a bit of personality. Thanks for watching.